die a slow death. Someone wants to risk their life for entertainment. I mean, I say let's do it. I always said if I could go back in time, if I could travel in time, I definitely would never travel and kill Hitler. People always say that. People always think that like a Jew would go back and kill Hitler if they could. You know, I wouldn't do that. You know, you let him do his thing. It's just I like where the world is today, so maybe that happens. So that's a terrible thing to say. I don't mean.
Here's the thing, Harley. If you go back far enough,
I wouldn't fuck with the whole Hitler thing.
If you go back,
just assume that's.
I've never thought of it that way. The way you just said it, and that is hilarious and probably true rationale. If I like where the world is today, like what if you go back and you kill Hitler, and that just like emboldens Mussolini, and he actually ends up like being the guy. Like maybe he was always playing second fiddle to Hitler when he had all the good ideas.
Literally, like that's it. Like I didn't like my thought process is like, yeah, you go there, you're like, oh, this is simple, kill Hitler. You go, you kill Hitler, and then it's like, oh, Hitler's dead. Release the Hitler bots. And then just like thousands and thousands of Hitler bots, and it's like now, and like you know what I mean, like
maybe North America sucks,
listen,
right?
He was trying to kill every Jewish person, and it didn't happen. But, so I wouldn't, don't fix what's not broken.
Hitler ruined Europe, right? Like Berlin was bombed, London was bombed, Paris was bombed. All these places were terrible. And while these places got like shelled out into nothing, America became this like manufacturing superpower. Maybe America would be like Brazil right now if we didn't trash Europe.
I don't think it would be like Brazil. It's not
hookers would be way cheaper.
Things worked out for the best the way they went down. I don't think we should go back and change anything, Marty McFly.
Here's
style.
the thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If I traveled back in time, what I would do is exactly what you just said. Something where I don't change anything. I would go back in time and I would fucking just like Prime Directive style, Star Trek style, put on like a robe and just go watch a Coliseum death match. A good old fashioned man on man, maybe 2 men on a lion, or maybe a 3 lions versus a tiger, whatever it is. I just want a good old-fashioned death match. And I can just go, I watch it, and I'll be like, that's messed up. I'm scarred for life, and that's on me, and I bring that back home with me. But that's it. I wouldn't touch anything or dabble with anything. And I even read once on like a shower thoughts on Reddit, which was really great. And they said that if just a thought, if we're always adapting and evolving to bacteria and stuff around us, if I were to go back in time, I'm bringing some diseases that like they're not ready for, and like I go back in time and just to go watch a death match, I end up making all
destroying Rome or something.
The Black Plague is because someone went and watched a death match.
That could so that would be. You know what I never got about the whole execution, not like the gladiators dying, is like how do you really build up a fan base? Like if you show up, like you just bought your new, like you're a Roman, you're a big fan of the games, you got your like Filius Maximus shirt on, picture of the guy's head on it, like holding the sword, you're like, you got your Maximus hat on, you're really into it, like I've been watching this guy for years, like Maximus, he's my boy, like you go and you sit down, and then that's just not his day. But it's not like we'll get him next time, Maximus, like you're the fucking man. No, he's dead. Like all that attire is useless. Now you have to pick a whole new fandom. Like I don't like the idea of
I don't think they always
in it because then you can't have a fandom because they're dying too often.
So I think what they would actually do is they would have these especially the famous ones that had their names written on walls and stuff. Like I think they would get a lot of like what do you call it in UFC where they just feed somebody to you? It would be like that. I think a lot of times they would get easy opponents, like they just have to kill 5 Jews, but they're just out there unarmed, like confused, and it's bright all of a sudden because they've been in a pit somewhere, and this guy's out there decked out from head to toe with a big spear and a shield and everything. Like that would be Monday for him, and then maybe next month he fights like a sick tiger, but he's got like a chariot archer kind of thing going on or something like that.
Even then, like, if you get, like, one poking back in that day, like, someone's dead. So I think it's like, oh, this guy, Maximus, he's the best. He's already won one. Like, that's big. You know, you won twice. I remember
reading something about some, like, champion that had won. The reason they were talking about this guy is because he'd won so many times, like, that it didn't seem believable or even realistic that he would win that many. I think they gave him a lot of, like, softballs, and they went out there and basically executed a lot of people.
We were talking about Hitler. So if you go back far enough, then guys like Genghis Khan, they're not considered terrible oppressors and rapists and whatever. They're admired for their accomplishments, right? The Ming Dynasty, different Greece and Roman leaders. How long until Hitler is admired for his accomplishments? Because he's not even as bad as like a Genghis Khan, right?
No. If you don't talk like objectively, like how many people they killed. Right?
What? That was 2 people.
Sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
I'm wondering, Genghis Khan existed in an era of brutality, right? Maybe he was eviscerating babies while he forged his empire, but if he hadn't have been eviscerating the babies, some other guy named Cole would have been doing it just the same. It just seemed like that was kind of the way of the times, and that he was taking over an empire. Maybe I don't know anything about that.
If someone was around to live tweet Genghis Khan's, storming through Asia, people would be like, all right, this guy's a real piece of shit. But
even Stalin is starting to turn his image around, right? People look at Stalin as like a mega strong leader, not someone who just sent people unarmed into death. He's on the upswing. Trust me. His popularity, his Twitter following is growing. His Facebook page is great.
I was going to say that we're too close. We're too close. How long ago was Genghis Khan?
1,200
like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Because there's a chance that Hitler doesn't stay as relevant in 1,000 years as Genghis Khan does, because we're so close to it, and because I'm Jewish, we're very good at reminding people, yo, this happened. Don't ever forget that this actually happened, people. So yeah, remember this guy in a stupid mustache.
Oh,
so
what would have
been 1,000 years? Maybe he just didn't do enough. I'll tell you one thing: in 1,000 years, people would remember him if he accomplished his mission. But he dropped the ball there. I saw
nobody
a video
accomplishes
4 years
their
ago.
mission though, right? They all die in the end. Napoleon lost in the end, but he's still...
No, his mission was to just kill off certain people.
Yeah, no one gets that done.
And my grandfather's an 87-year-old.
I mean, we did. We got it done. There used to be a lot of Indians that lived here before we got here.
True, yeah.
Millions of them. They had a vast civilization, many tribes, and
that's another perfect example.
I mean, we've all been to the casino.
Thing. That's another perfect example of the disease thing, where just people from one continent show up, and then suddenly wipe huge swaths of people out. That's how the bubonic plague did get started. Someone in Asia brought
it counted as the first kind of chemical or biological warfare was those blankets.
Well, not quite, because back in the old days, they used to throw plague victims' body parts over the walls with the catapults.
Yeah, that's right.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
That's hardcore.
You know, it would be a good way to.
Send the plague heads.
I was trying to think of a way you could go back and change Hitler without killing him. So here's what you do: you have to clear a couple weeks on your schedule in the past. So you travel back, Harley, dressed as a Hasidic Jew, as Jewy as you can be, and then you kind of just from a distance.
Just put a black hat on.
Yes, and then make sure the curls are going, and you just follow from a safe distance so you can see everything that little Adolf is doing. And you wait until he's bringing his painting to school to show all the other children about it, and they're like, "Oh, Adolf, your painting is very subpar. No, you'll never be famous for that." And then you step in, and you put your hand on little Adolf's shoulder, and you go, "Stop making fun of Adolf. He's a great painter. You have the talent that he did." Yeah, and then you beat the shit out of those other Germans, and he'll remember for the rest of his life, when he comes to power, they'll be like, who do we need to go after? Do we want to go after the gypsies? Do we want to go after the Jews? Nein! Never the Jews! Because he will remember it that way. That's what you need to... That's the perfect back-in-time plan for Hitler.
Or maybe he's just maybe he's just we kill everyone that doesn't love painting.
Yeah. If he shows them pictures of street paintings, if they do not pick mine, they're done,
Kyle, why won't you do another